There is good in everything. There is a good in everything is a beautiful and mysterious phrase. Because it is not possible for us to know everything about the events that have happened to us, and we cannot know, but are those events good or bad? Let's never forget the saying that there is a good in everything. Sometimes one cannot perceive this truth and says, "Why did this happen to me now?" laments. He interprets what happened to him according to himself, thinks negatively when he enters the devil and his soul, and sometimes even gets depressed. However, there are many wisdoms behind these events that we do not know. In other words, we do not know what is good or what is bad. Sometimes when we see good, it is possible that when we see bad, it is likely to be good, as the 216th verse of Surah Al-Baqarah points to this. Sometimes something you don't like is good for you. Sometimes, something you love and desire may be evil for you. As a result, only Allah knows what will bring good and what will bring evil, you do not know. Baqarah 2/216. Share from the story. It is told that once the Sheikh gathered his students, and among them there was a meritorious student. He said to them, "Let's say no, what would you do if you had God's power?" Someone said that I would cure all the sick. I would help other people who are in trouble. Another would feed the hungry. He continued like this, and when he said to the last student that I would not do anything, he said that what has happened is the most beautiful. Everyone paused for a moment, and his sheikh approved him with a smile. Thus, just as the merit of that student has emerged, there is also goodness that has emerged in a reality. It is also stated that, once upon a time, there was a sultan, and he loved to hunt, and he hunted often. Everything is good, there is good in everything. He had a vizier who kept his word. If an incident happened to the sultan, the vizier immediately said, "My sultan, do not be sad, there is good in everything," he would say. Sometimes the sultan blushed because of it. Upon this answer, the sultan got angry, and I cut my hand and said, "There is good in everything," and he put the vizier in the dungeon. But even when the vizier was going to the dungeon, the same thing repeated you. The sultan got angry again and said, "I'm getting you thrown in the dungeon." He says the same thing again. After a while, the sultan went out again to hunt. This time he said, "Let's go to a far place." But while hunting, the locals of the place raided and captured them. As the custom of the locals, they sacrificed a captive every day, and when it was the sultan's turn, they left him. The reason is that according to their beliefs, they do not sacrifice a crippled or injured person. Therefore, the sultan was saved from death. The vizier came to the mind of the sultan and gave him the right. When he returned to his country, he had his vizier released and regretted, asked for forgiveness, then asked another question. "Let's understand that my hand was cut off, so what's wrong with you entering the dungeon?" The vizier said, "If I had not been in the dungeon and had come with you, those natives would have sacrificed me as well as others." Yes, only Allah knows the best of everything. If a calamity or trouble befalls us, we should not get angry right away. There is something in every job, you have to say no. If your business is not going well, if you have problems, always keep this truth in mind.